Hi everybody, this is class example 3. It is a special case of combinations or permutations that looks very similar to other types of problems that you see in this unit, but as we take a closer look, you'll see there's a subtle, different, yet important difference between this one. So what you're going to want to do is when you go through this example is you're going to want to look for this specific type of problem when you see it on exams, assignments, and so forth. So as you read this one, you've got a scenario where three people, David, Stephen, and Helen, are looking at this homework problem. And I'll read it, even though you can read it yourself probably better. The students in a school band have practiced 5 popular and 6 classical music compositions. For the school concert, they would choose a program consisting of 3 popular and 2 classical music compositions. And then very, very importantly, if the order of the compositions matters, so determine the number of different programs which can be presented. So it's very important that they stated that or implied it strongly, because that's what we're going to use in order to make our decisions. First off, is it a permutation, a combination, and then any other related things. And the order means that if you're doing your classical ones, for example, doing Beethoven, Mozart, and Chopin, if I pronounce that right, is a different arrangement than if you had Beethoven second and Mozart first. So let's file that away, and what we're asked to do is evaluate or analyze, discuss the merits of each of these students, see if they're right, where they're right, if they're wrong, where they're wrong, and then for part B, we're asked to well, the teachers let the cat out of the bag, that all 3 people are wrong. So we do know that, and we have to give a correct solution. Well, let's take a look at David's. So David is saying 11 pick 5. So to be good, to be favorable to David, we can say that David has, in fact, he's recognized that that order matters. And that's why he selected permutations. However, he completely ignored the restriction on this question, which is that it has to be 3 popular and 2 classical. He just put them all together. He says, we've got 11 songs, and we're going to pick 5 of them. So he disregarded or ignored the restriction. If we're looking for more positive things to say about David, we would also say that, he added well. 6 plus 5 is 11. Now Stephen is interesting because he also recognized that order mattered, and I'm not giving a comprehensive list of everything they did right or wrong. I really am going to focus on part B when we get there, which is what is the correct answer. But I'll make a few notes on these things. Stephen, yes, order matters. He recognized that. But his big problem, and feel free with a question like this to pause it at any point and answer the question yourself and see how well it compares to what I have for it. It's always a good strategy with these ones. Stop it, go ahead with it, and then compare. But where Stephen is wrong, back to that, is that he's assumed that it's going to be 3 of the popular, then 2 of the classical. So he's assuming that it's going to be something like this, that they have to be done consecutively. And this is a false assumption. So he's doing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's saying, okay, we've got a popular song here, we've got a popular song here, we got a popular song here, and then we got a classical and a classical. That 5 pick 3 times 6 pick 2. And this is how we did questions earlier in the unit, you might recall, because there you just had these, how many ways can you arrange these letters, blah, blah, blah. So he's falsely assuming that because they do not tell us that it has to be PPP. Sorry about that last little hiccup there, I pressed something wrong. Falsely assuming that. It's a nice try, Stephen, but you are not right. Neither is David. Now Helen, this is intriguing because I'm writing all over the place here with it, but I think you can probably follow it. Helen has disregarded the ordering issue. Now, in fact, Helen did a really good job of selecting the objects, because what she did is she says, well, we've got 5 popular songs. We're selecting 3, no attempt to consider order, and then the same thing with classical. So she made a good selection. So she has correctly selected the songs. However, she has ignored the order issue. Or arrangement, if you like. So she's picked her songs, but she's basically telling whomever that, well, it doesn't really matter if we play Beethoven before we play Brahms, they even say Brahms, or Chopin, or before the Beatles, if you're looking at popular ones. So she's off to a good start. So what makes this question unique is the fact that when we approach it for B correctly, we are going to adopt Helen's method in terms of selecting them. But then we have to arrange them afterwards. If you look at the question closely, you'll see it's not like earlier ones that Steve was thinking, for example, where you're giving these fixed orders like that. It's going to be like this. We don't have that. So what we do is we select first to get it correct. So we take, well, like Helen did, we take the 5, I'm just going to write this off below, 5, choose 3. That is going to be the popular. And then we multiply it, as she did, by 6, choose 2, to get the classical ones. And then finally, now that we've selected them, we multiply by 5 factorial. So just to put in some notes on this, here's our selection. So we select the pop, select the classical, and then we arrange. And because there are 5 objects, we arrange them 5 factorial. Select and then arrange. And I think this gives us, I don't actually have my calculator with me, but I worked it out a few minutes ago, and I think it's 18,000. So a very specific method for this type of question. So you have to look for it when you're solving them, and you will likely get one of these on any assessments. There's one in the homework for sure. And once you're comfortable with it, then you'll see that it's not that difficult. But it is different, as I said, than a standard permutation one or a standard combination one. So thank you for your time. Good luck with the rest of the way.